So when it comes to magnetic MagSafe power banks for the iPhone series, there's so many brands out there on the market. And of course, you got your ones that's always been doing it for a while. When we're talking about Anchor, ESR, you got your Apple MagSafe battery pack. But there are some hidden gems out there, especially when you're searching around on Amazon, where you can really find some gems. Just like I stated, when it comes to these magnetic battery packs. And this company right here, Baseus, slid in my inbox and was like, yo, T, we want you to check out our magnetic power bank. So I was like, every time I get a power bank, I always want to know what's out there so I can give you guys different options when it comes to these. So I said, let me try it out for a couple weeks and then let's get back to you and then we can work together and figure out what we're going to do. And a huge shout out to Baseus for sponsoring this video, but let me go ahead and clarify. Keyword, I used this product for about 3 weeks before I did this video to make sure it was worth it for you guys to go out there and pick this up. And in my experience, this is one of the best bang for buck, big milliamp hour battery banks out there in the market. When I say big, we're talking about 10,000 milliamp hours. So let's go ahead and check it out. This is going to be the Baseus 10,000 milliamp hours magnetic battery pack for the iPhone series. So let's go ahead and run through it. Let me go ahead and show you everything that this thing right here has going on. So stepping around it, because this has a feature that no other battery bank that I review on the channel has, and we're going to go ahead and get into it in a second. So when you're looking at it on the back here, of course, you're going to get your MagSafe. This is going to allow you to slap it on the iPhone, and it's good that they do have the alignment magnet. I got to say that because some battery banks doesn't have that magnetic alignment, and it matters. It makes the world of a difference when you're talking about charging wirelessly, if that's what you want to do. So that's what you got going on that side. On this right side right here, I guess you can right or left, however you want to call it, but on the right side, you're going to have your 20-watt power delivery port. Now that right here is very important to me because I tend to not use these 10,000 milliamp hour battery packs unless I'm traveling. And when I'm traveling, I love to have that power delivery port because we're always going partying, tours, just we're doing so much. I love to have the ability to fast charge my phone when I need it to. I know 20 watts in the grand scheme of things isn't that fast when you're talking about the competition and everything that's going out there with smartphone charger speeds, but this 20 watts gets it done, especially when it comes to an iPhone. It's all the speed that I need to get my juice back on when it comes to my iPhone, all right? Flipping over on the other side, you're going to have your power button. Now, when you hit that power button, little thing happens. You're going to get a digital readout of the power that is left on your battery pack. In my opinion, this is so good because you got other power banks. Let's just, for example, let me grab this one right here. And this thing might be dead, but most of the time, and let me kind of cover it up, we rely on the dot system, all right? And then once you always get a few dots, they light up to let you know what the remaining capacity is on a battery pack. Well, with that, it's kind of, you don't know, you're kind of guesstimating. We like to think that each dot is 25%, but we truly don't know what it is. It's good to see a battery bank that just has that digital readout just sitting right here looking at you so you know exactly how much is left on your phone. And that, in my opinion, is such a good little thing. I love this feature right here that they offer. And the one other feature right here, really quietly bit in here, you're going to have a kickstand. And this is a very sturdy kickstand because we're talking about 14 Pro Max on a mouse case. And we're talking about it's holding it just fine. As you can see, you can do it in portrait. You can pop it down in landscape mode, and it is going to be just fine. And then you can tuck it, get it out the way. You never even know it's there when it comes to that MagSafe battery pack. Now, one thing that I love about this is you can pop this on the phone and you don't have to turn it on. Some battery banks, you have to put it on and you think you're charging, and you're not charging a single thing because you haven't physically turned it on. With this one, it has an auto start, so as soon as you pop it on your phone, you're good to go. That charging will start charging, and you will definitely be fine when it comes to that. Now, some other little features that comes along with this battery bank. This does support pass-through charging, which is another critical feature that I love to see battery banks have. And if you don't know what pass-through is, that means at the end of the night, you're done, you're going to bed. In the morning, you know you got a busy day and you need both your phone and your battery bank charged up. And say, for an example, you don't want to put these on separate chargers. What you can do is just plug your phone in, and then you can charge the actual Type-C of the battery bank, all right? You can actually charge this, and let me see if we can kind of demonstrate it on camera. So you can actually plug it in. This is going to be charging, as you can, well, it's already 100%, but at the same time, it should begin to, there it is, it should begin to charge the phone. So if this was a lower percentage, this will be charging, and you can also charge your iPhone at the same time. And that's, I love pass-through charging. I just absolutely love it, and always gets the job done. And it's a critical feature that I love to see when it comes to my battery banks. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the performance. Let's talk about a little bit of heat, because we know that's one thing that plagues these magnetic battery banks. when we're talking about using them. So the performance of this is where I really wanted to test, because I was like, I don't know, let me see how this thing really does when we're talking about performance. This thing right here is fast, all right? I don't know. I feel like this thing charges faster than 20 watts because it gets it simply done. Now, I like to test these battery banks in two different scenarios, when we're talking about plugging them in and when we're charging via wireless. So I plug this in, let my phone get down to about 15%, plugged it in 20 minutes. This thing got from 10% to 50% in 20 minutes. Boom, just like that. I'm talking about fast when we are charging it through that power delivery port. Checked out the heat management. I was touching it, never was hot. It was warm, but definitely not uncontrollably hot than some out there on the market. I even got to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hottest, it may have been a 5, a 4. You felt the warmth, but it was nothing that was too distracting when we're talking about using this. So kept on charging. I was able to get to that 90% from 20 basically to 90% in about an hour. In my opinion, when you're talking about plugging it up 20 watt speeds, that is very impressive. So I was able to charge this very quickly from about 15%-ish to about 90% in an hour. And of course, you can kind of add on that extra bit of 15 more minutes or so to get that 100% charge. So I was very, very impressed with the performance of this when we are talking about plugging it directly in here to Lightning. Type-C to Lightning, that's the performance that I was getting. And the heat at the very end was still very manageable, and it was not hot at all. So that's going to be the wire test. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and slap it back on. At the time, the MagSafe battery bank charging from that 15% to 90%, I still had 35% left on this. So I was like, man, this 35% can't last that long. It just seems like it just really drained the battery pack. I slapped this back on once again from 10%, and I let this charge up to burn that 35% left that was on the battery pack to 65%. I was able to get, with 35% battery pack on the battery left on this, I was able to get to 10% to 65% with just 30% charge. And that's when I was like, all right, this thing right here is doing this thing. I'm not gonna lie. I was very, very impressed at the performance when we are talking about doing it via wireless, wired. Now, talking about wireless charging, if that's what you want to do, if you want to slap it there, use it as a MagSafe battery pack, we also always have to account that when you wireless charge, it takes more power than you are plugging in, because you're taking away power from it a little bit more than you're talking about wireless charging. And this is going to charge 7.5 watts when it comes to the iPhone via wireless. It's going to charge up to 15 watts if you have an Android via wireless as well. So this is kind of compatible both ways. And plugging up wireless, I was able to get from 0 to 100% and still have about 28, 30-ish% on the battery bank. And now with those kind of stats from before, even if I had to put it back on via wireless, I feel like I could have got from maybe like a 10% to about a 40% if I would have kept the testing going along. But I kind of had stopped my testing right there, because this thing really did it. It really proved itself when we're talking about performance. And then through all of that heat management, I still feel like it still remained cool, even charging via wireless. And that's where I was highly impressed with this MagSafe magnetic battery bank right here. If I had to change one thing about this when looking at this, I would like this shiny material, because this is going to be a very high gloss material. I'm talking about you almost got to wipe it down. Baseus, if you're watching this video, which I know you're watching it, one thing I would like to see improved, if you can make this material just matted out, kind of like this material. Sure, it's going to show a little bit of fingerprints, but it's not going to be super high gloss, super fingerprinty when we are talking about the front display. But of course, I use these things as utilities. I could care less how they look. I just need them to perform when I need a solid MagSafe battery pack. And I definitely feel that's what Baseus has going on. And right now, they are running a deal on Amazon where I feel like you can pick this up for about $47.99, and that's going to be right on par when we are talking about, well, much cheaper than the Anker 633, and it's probably going to be right on par with the ESR 10,000 milliamp hour. But I feel like it offers a few different features over the ESR. What you get is a kickstand, the digital readout. I feel like there's just a little better buy, in my opinion, when it comes to this Baseus. And I'll be using this. I got some traveling going on next year. I really want to put this thing through the paces. I'm traveling over for New Year's. I'm still going to put this through the paces. But when you're talking about a feature pack magnetic battery bank, 20-watt power delivery, pass-through charging, you get the built-in kickstand, you get 7.5 watts wireless charging with iPhones, 15 watts wireless charging with Android, you get the digital readout display. All of these things right here makes this for a very solid battery bank out there. So if you're looking for a little stocking stuffer to get someone out there, you really want to break the bank, go ahead and pick this magnetic battery bank up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I was highly impressed with the performance, and that's why I had to go ahead and showcase this to you guys, to let you know that you can buy in confidence and go grab one of these, because I think it's a very, very solid buy. So head over down there to the link down below. Go grab yourself one. They were going to give me an extended code to use. Now, I'm not sure if it's for their website or on Amazon, but look in the comment section, look in the description of this video when it's published, so you can even save a little bit more on top of the savings that I think I've already told you, so you can get the best deal on this magnetic battery bank.